Hola, ¿qué tal? I am Tony Galvez from Road Trips Spain and Portugal, where we help you plan the perfect trip with practical information and insider tips. Today, we are going to share 10 tips to help you improve your experience traveling at high speed throughout Spain. The train is departing. The first piece of advice we're going to share is probably the most valuable one, as it will have a definite impact on your budget. Buy your train tickets as far in advance as possible. Buying tickets at the station on the day of travel is a lousy deal. Let's see the reasons why. First of all, forget that there is such a thing as the price. Many people ask, how much does the high-speed train between Madrid and Barcelona cost? And we always answer, it depends. There is no fixed price. It depends mainly on three factors: the date of your journey, the time of your journey, and the date of purchase. That is, how far in advance you buy your ticket. The companies that operate high-speed trains in Spain operate in much the same way as airlines. Their price table is dynamic. That means that prices change and that a journey one day on a given time may cost, for example, 20 euros, while on another date or on the same date at a different time, it may cost 40. We are going to allow our Renfe train to enter here at the top of the screen for a very simplified explanation, but which we think will help you understand the concept we're talking about. Let's imagine a high-speed train journey from Madrid to Barcelona. The company is going to divide the train into blocks of seats. One block is going to be offered for sale at 20 euros per ticket, another at 45, another at 70, and finally the last block at 120 euros per ticket. All this for the same seat category on the same train at the same time. It doesn't take a genius to know which prices are going to sell first, does it? Whoever buys in advance gets the 20 euros price. When that price sells out, the others are left, and when the 45 and 70 prices sell out, only the ones that nobody else wanted, the 120 euros, are left. If you wait until the last minute to buy your ticket at the station, on the day of travel, you may only find the 120 price. What is almost certain is that you will not find the 20 euros price. And there is the very real possibility that you simply won't find any price at all, as the train you are interested in is sold out. And there is one more surprise, nasty surprise. If you buy your tickets at the ticket machines, you will pay a 3.5% surcharge on the price you pay. But if you go to the ticket office, the surcharge rises to 5.5%. In the case of the low-cost Ouigo high-speed train, there are no ticket offices, so purchases can only be made online. I think it's pretty clear that buying high-speed tickets at the last minute is a pretty dodgy deal, isn't it? By the way, although companies from time to time say that they put their tickets on sale so many months in advance, the reality is that we never know, especially in the case of Renfe. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, it's unpredictable. You just have to keep trying until the tickets appear in the system. To find a cheaper ticket, you have to buy as far in advance as possible, as we've just seen. But there is a second factor that also helps a lot: having flexibility, both in terms of dates and schedules. The flexibility of dates is more complicated for those who are making a route through Spain with dates that are fixed. We understand that. But sometimes a day before or a day after can make a considerable difference in price. The flexibility of timetables is fundamental because it should be within the reach of almost everyone. It's essential because high-speed rail fares change throughout the day. When you are looking for tickets for the date you're interested in, you will immediately see the incredible fluctuation of prices throughout the day. If you are flexible, you can buy the best price and then organize your day around that timetable. Third piece of advice is to study carefully the rules on baggage transportation. As with airlines, the companies that operate the high-speed train routes in Spain also have baggage rules and restrictions. What must be very clear to you is that you cannot arrive at the station with all the luggage you want. There are limits which change from one company to another and from one ticket category to another. In general, the restrictions are stricter on the Avlo and Wigo, which are the low-cost high-speed trains, where the transport of medium or large suitcases is excluded in the basic fare and has to be bought separately, very much like it happens with low-cost airlines. Also with Avlo and Wigo, the luggage control at boarding is much stricter than on the Renfe high-speed trains. Find out about the rules when you buy your ticket. This advice is for those traveling with babies. In most companies, children under 4 years of age travel for free as long as they do not occupy a seat. But be careful, it is essential to obtain a ticket for this baby, which will be free of charge. Without the ticket, the baby will not get on the train. Don't forget that, and when you are looking for tickets, select the ticket for the baby traveling with you as well. In most cities in Spain, there's only one high-speed train station, which is unofficially referred to as the La Estación del Ave de Ave station. This is the case in Córdoba, Granada, Málaga, Seville, Toledo, Valencia, Zaragoza. It is also the case for Barcelona, which for now only has one station, although work has been going on forever on the construction of the new high-speed station La Sagrera, whose works never seem to be finished. So when looking for a ticket, if you know the name of the station, for example Sevilla Santa Justa, enter it. But if you don't know it, just type select Seville, that will do. The only city where you have to pay attention to correctly identify the station is Madrid. Trains can depart from either Atocha, Puerta de Atocha, or Chamartín, Clara Campo Amor stations, and both are quite far from each other. And for the time being, trains leaving Atocha do not pass through Chamartín and vice versa. The station identification always appears on the ticket. If you have any doubts, ask. The Combinado Cercanías is a free train ticket offered by Renfe to its passengers. Let's see how it works. If you are going to take a Cercanías train, which in Spain are the trains that run in the metropolitan regions of the country's major cities, and within a maximum of 4 hours take an AVE, an Alvia, an Avant, or any other long-distance train, the suburban train ticket is free. The same applies in the opposite direction if you are changing from a high-speed train to a suburban train. The Combinado Cercanías can be useful, for example, if you arrive by plane in Madrid or Barcelona and want to go to the train station to catch a high-speed train. In this case, the train from the airport to the train station is free. Be careful because the suburban train combination is not valid if you have traveled on an Avlo or a Wigo, the low-cost high-speed trains. To qualify for the benefit, find a code on your ticket made up of letters and numbers to the right of the words Combinado Cercanías. You will need this code. Go to a local ticket vending machine, like the one shown in the image on the left, and on the first screen you will see a button with Combinado Cercanías written on it. Touch it, and on the next screen, enter the Combinado Cercanías code that appears on your ticket. At the bottom of the machine, you will be able to pick up the ticket that you will need to travel on the commuter train. It is essential to have it. Each ticket has a different code, so you will have to repeat the operation for each person traveling with you. A piece of advice: before traveling, write down the Combinado Cercanías codes somewhere so that when you go to the machine, you don't have to look for them. It has been said that Renfe may introduce improvements in the way passengers obtain the Combinado Cercanías ticket, but for the moment, you have to do it at the machine. You may arrive on a flight to Madrid or Barcelona, mainly those two cities, and on the day of your arrival, you may want to take a high-speed train to another destination. Depending on the organization of your route through Spain, this could be a good idea. Let's take a real example easily applicable to other combinations. Let's imagine that you arrive at Madrid airport and on the same day you want to take a high-speed train to Seville. Our advice here is to be very careful with the time you leave between the arrival of the flight and the departure of the train. In the case of Madrid, if our personal experience is anything to go by, we always leave 4 hours between the scheduled arrival time of the flight and the scheduled departure time of the train. In Barcelona, 3 hours should be enough. This is a shorter amount of time because Barcelona airport is smaller than Madrid's and the distance to the train station is short. We used to work with tighter margins until one day we almost missed a train due to an unforeseen event that can happen any day in a city like Madrid. We would try to avoid a high-speed train-plane connection. Why? Because in the case of a plane-to-train connection, if you miss the train, you can get another one, but on the other direction, if you miss the flight and it is your responsibility, the damage is monumental. You will have to buy another plane ticket. This connection only seems reasonable to us when the flight leaves in the late afternoon or evening. You will travel to Madrid or Barcelona in the morning with more than enough time for any unforeseen events, and you will take the flight in the evening. If you have that romantic idea of train travel where you arrive at the station 5 minutes before the train departs, forget about it. High-speed stations are more like airports than conventional train stations. First, you will have to locate the access to the boarding area. In a small station in Córdoba, in Granada, that won't be a problem, but in big stations like Barcelona Sants or large stations like Madrid Puerta de Atocha, you can lose time locating that access. Before reaching the boarding area, there is a security checkpoint. In small stations, the queue is usually fast, but in large stations, such as the aforementioned Sants in Barcelona and Atocha in Madrid, the queue can be slow, and you will have to locate the boarding point for your train. All that takes time, especially if you are not familiar with the station. We usually schedule ourselves to arrive at the station an hour before the train departs. Is that a long time? It is. But by now you should know that we are the kind of travelers who like to keep a long distance from stressful situations. Either way, don't arrive less than 30 minutes before the train departs if you don't want to have to run around the station like a headless chicken. Acerca is a free assistance service offered at high-speed stations to people with mobility restrictions who would fall into this category. First of all, of course, wheelchair users, but also elderly people traveling with luggage who could use a helping hand with their luggage and also with boarding the train. And a mother traveling with a baby and luggage could also benefit from the service. The service is offered by Adif, which is the company responsible for the high-speed stations in Spain, and is available to passengers of all companies, including Renfe and Wigo. You could request the service when you purchase the tickets or at the stations themselves at least 30 minutes before the train's departure time. Acerca is available at 15 stations, including the most important ones, such as the 2 stations in Madrid, those in Barcelona, Malaga, Seville, Valencia, and Zaragoza. It is easy to distinguish the employees of the service. They wear an orange jacket. It's a very good service. It's great to know that those who need more help have someone who can provide it, and for free. Congratulations for those responsible. And for the last piece of advice, you can't stay here in the channel. We want you to make the most of all the information we've published on the high-speed train travel in Spain, a topic that is one of our passions. We have been on board a high-speed train many times, more than 200, and in the process we have learned a lot about how to make the most of the system. We've already shared what a high-speed train is like. We tested and introduced the first high-speed low-cost train in Spain, Wigo. Then we tested and introduced the second high-speed low-cost train in Spain, Avlo. We told you how to purchase the high-speed train tickets, and we've explained what the main routes of the high-speed train are, where the train will take you. That was all for today. As ever, the comments section is open for your questions on the topic. You will see next on screen a video we feel will help you prepare the perfect trip to Spain. Don't miss it. Até mais. Hasta la próxima. See you soon.